Hey everybody, Wiley from Level With You here to share my personal top 10 games of 2020. Let us know in the comments what you enjoyed most last year. And if you hadn't already, hit that subscribe button and tune in to the Level With You show every Tuesday or get it later on podcast services. Alright, thanks a lot. Stay level. Here we go. Number 10, Ring Fit Adventure. Now yes, this game did technically come out in 2019. Due to the pandemic, it became a hot commodity in 2020. A way to exercise safely at home that wouldn't break the bank like a Peloton. These past few months I've been playing almost daily, and I'm consistently amazed by the engaging light RPG mechanics, the impressive art design, and how much of a great workout it is. If you're on the fence about this one, I'd recommend taking the leap. And at number 9, we've got Crash 4, It's About Time. Crash Bandicoot 2 was the first video game I ever owned. I played it for countless hours, and the mischievous marsupial has always had a special place in my heart. After playing the remakes a couple of years ago, I thought they held up fine, but wasn't sure a full-on new game in this linear 3D platforming style was possible. I was dead wrong. Toys for Bob made the best and most challenging Crash game of all time. Filled with surprises and secrets, this game is a must-play for any platforming fan. At number 8, we've got another reboot of sorts from one of my childhood favorite franchises. It's incredible how this game nails the feel of the original classics while still feeling like a modern video game. Vicarious Visions knocked it out of the park with the visuals and soundtrack too. This is one I'll always have installed because a couple of 2-minute runs at the hangar or warehouse will never get old. At number 7, we've got Doom Eternal. From a gameplay perspective, I think Doom Eternal is straight next level when it comes to single-player shooters. Frantic gameplay loop, intense challenge, and jaw-droppingly violent visuals made for a stellar experience. The multitude of secrets and collectibles provided great replayability. I wasn't a fan of the multiplayer and still have yet to dive into the DLC, but Doom Eternal was a hell of a ride. Number 6, I've got Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Man, Moon Studios really must have respected Hollow Knight because they straight lifted the combat from it to improve Ori's exponentially in this excellent sequel. Will of the Wisps has a truly touching story that concludes in a pretty unforgettable way. The exploration is Metroidvania excellence, the level of detail in the artwork is astounding, and the variation of the environments always keeps the eye guessing what's going to be next. And at number 5, it's Final Fantasy VII Remake. This is the one game that turned out better than it had any right to be. A remake of the first section of Final Fantasy VII spread out into a full 45-hour-long experience. And the Kingdom Hearts dude is working on it? Nah, that'll never work. Except it does. Final Fantasy VII Remake made me invested in these characters despite never getting very far in the original. The real-time / turn-based combat is a benchmark for the series going forward. It's the best I've ever seen it implemented, and man, it's a thing to look at it and just totally goes for it. Number 4, we've got Spiritfarer, a game with so many touching moments you will most definitely lose track. In a year where we could have all used a few more hugs, here comes Spiritfarer with a hug mechanic built right in. You play as Stella, a being tasked with ushering souls in the forms of various animal people to the great beyond. Part management simulator, part platformer, part social sim, a game unlike anything I played, and one I won't forget. And at number 3, we've got Ghost of Tsushima. I got lost in Tsushima for 3 weeks. I wanted to see every inch of what this incredible open world had to offer. Complete every side quest, write every haiku, win every duel, and find every shrine. The tale of Jin Sakai's transformation from honorable samurai to the fearsome ghost, and all the trappings around that, I was always into. The cast of characters you meet also were well acted and engaging in their own right. The sword combat, truly excellent, especially for an open world game. It's translated into a free multiplayer mode, which Level With You was hooked on for weeks. A total package of a game, and a great swan song for the PS4. And at number 2, it is Hades. After over a year in early access, Hades finally dropped on PC and Switch and set the gaming world ablaze. Never before had there been a roguelike that garnered this kind of buzz. Hades has an absolutely incredible amount of dialogue, all excellently voice acted, and tells an engaging story. Your struggles are rewarded with consistent incentives to press on not just for upgrades and cosmetics, but for the next chapter in Zagreus' tale. And once you finally reach the summit and escape hell, the story continues until you finish it 10 times. Unreal. And it has absolutely pitch-perfect isometric combat, the best roguelite of all time with a bullet. And last and certainly not least, number 1, The Last of Us Part 2. No other game this year got its hooked in me like The Last of Us Part 2. I am not someone that usually binges games, shows, stuff like that. I like to let a story breathe and play an hour or 2 a night in most cases. Not so here. I had to keep going and find out what happened in this blood-soaked dystopian future, even in the midst of a real-life pandemic. I got through the 30-hour campaign in 4 days. There are some frustrating story beats where you wanted like hell for things to play out another way, where you were hoping for a way out, for a way to stop the cycle of violence and call it a day. because you want so much for these characters to be happy. The visual fidelity of the performance capture and the details in the environments is simply next level. The stealth gameplay is some of the best the genre has to offer, an aspect that I think gets overlooked due to the focus on story. While I wish things had played out differently in the end, no other game made me this emotional, made me this invested, or left me this satisfied in 2020.